just as this like half-baked kind of like they're not really open from the pandemic yet, like, you know, they're still like finding their footing, which is crazy because it is probably one of the most visited tourist attractions in Singapore, but it still feels like it's still trying to get out of the pandemic mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, it's like, you know, you see those viral posts about this abandoned train station in China.
Yeah.
You know, in like Croatia, these flats that no longer... RWS has that feel.
Yeah.
It feels like you could do a whole series of this is an abandoned resort. You know, like Banksy had Dismaland or something.
Yeah, Dismaland, yeah.
Dismaland, right? It feels like RWS is like Dismaland in real life. If you're looking for something to make you the most interesting person at your next dinner party, check out Tell You First, our new podcast series. In every episode, Terence and I dive into mind-blowing topics you never knew you needed to know. We've talked about why Singapore TV peaked in the 1990s, the history of beer brewing in Singapore, and even why the government banned long hair until the 1980s. It's entertaining, educational, and edgy, with a touch of good old humor and that Singaporean flavour. For every episode, only one of us knows the details about the topic, while the other is completely clueless. Perfect for comedy and learning, of course. So go ahead and click on the link in our bio or search for the Tell You First podcast on the Me Listen app, Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
And it's a good old day, man.
Yeah.
Why is it a good day, Terence? I mean, aside from the wonderful weather.
Amazing news that we got this morning, right? Of the event that we've been talking about the last couple of podcasts.
Yeah.
Big development since we woke up this morning. And what was that?
So it is the status of our Yalla Butt live show on 12th December, which, I mean, ticket sales went live on Tuesday, 19th November. So in less than 24 hours, we sold out, man.
Yeah.
And
not even 24, like 18 hours or something.
18 hours, which is fucking amazing. So to everyone who bought, like, thank you so much. To everyone who maybe didn't get a chance, I think we don't have a waiting list yet, but maybe we should start one.
Yeah, because, I mean, obviously, this one has gone well, right? Already, it's sold out already.
Yeah.
So there is demand.
Yeah.
You know, if maybe you'll do a wait list for future editions of this as well. Right?
Yeah.
And we promise it won't take another 6 months to put it together. Like.
Yeah,
we're looking to do this like longer term, right?
I was even thinking, this morning we do a post first, pushing, and then do another post saying, oh, it's sold out,
Too slow, man. Too
slow.
Too slow.
Now we just go straight, sold out, man.
Your millennial pause.
Yeah, that's like my millennial pause. I'm like, okay, I'll do it in the morning and shit like that. Yeah, it's sold out, man. It was fucking, it's great. So just amazing.
Amazing, yeah. Looking forward to spend that time with everyone because it's also really close to my birthday.
Yeah.
So nice little early birthday gift that this has already sold out.
Early, it'll be early birthday gift.
Is it now that we know this sold out?
So you're just fishing for people to come with gifts, is it?
Come with gifts, yeah. I need a new iPhone. Just letting everyone know. Could do with a new camera, everything as well.
Okay, can. Start a registry, the Amazon registry, and then you send a link.
Live event registry.
Yeah, live event registry.
No, but actually, I mean, now you're a dad, right? I think the significance of like birthdays and milestones, for you, right?
Yeah.
Probably a lot less important already, I would say, right?
For me personally, in fact, a bit more important. Not for me personally.
For you, celebrate your birthday is very important. Is it?
No, birthdays in general.
Oh yeah, I'm saying, because
my birthday, I've never seen my birthday as important.
That's true.
In fact, you scolded me before for not seeing it as important.
No. It's not that you don't see it as important. It's that you secretly get through your birthday without telling people it's your birthday.
It happened once. Okay?
Enough times to piss people off. I think the thing is that you don't give people a chance to just have an excuse to celebrate. That's what I felt was very selfish and self-centered.
Okay, so from my side, it's the complete opposite. I just always found it weird that people are going to be celebrating for me. If I want to organize something, they're coming for me, which, because I'm such a humble guy, Terence, I cannot imagine people taking time out of their day to really come and celebrate me. As opposed to someone like you who thinks it's, of course, people should celebrate themselves.
No, it gives people a reason to celebrate. Life is hard enough as it is day to day already.
So,
just having an excuse to like, forget about the wars going on, forget about, the
rising
economy,
costs.
inflation,
Yeah.
climate change. Just
Yeah.
celebrate a birthday for a day. That's like the littlest thing that you can do for humanity, that you refuse to do every year, right?
I mean, it is. I wouldn't say it's changed a lot. Now I'm more open with like, oh, it's my birthday and all.
Yeah,
But that whole celebrating for me, like, I still find it weird. Like, okay, I'm going to have a birthday party for me. Come
Yeah.
to my birthday party.
Yeah.
If someone else like wants to organize, sure. But like that thing is a bit weird. But other people's birthdays, I think it's a lot more worthwhile celebrating. Like.
Correct. And now with like family and all, I think it's it will take a very different dimension.
Yeah, because it really is, especially as you get older, when life becomes even more challenging, you're pulled in even more directions. Yeah, it's a good reason for people to come together.
Or even just still being here. Right? That's
Yeah.
worth celebrating when you get to the age where, we're still here.
Yeah. Correct,
I mean, not even a joke, right? Like, I'm sure you have, even friends from like school and all that. Some have, passed on for whatever reasons as well.
Yeah.
So you can't take for granted that, their birthday they're going to be here on their next birthday. Right?
But I mean, that one got a double-edged sword also, because as I've gotten older, right, and I realized, oh shit, like even being 40 alive and well is a luxury, right? I would say, okay, so in general, I would still give up seats to older people.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
But sometimes I'm like, actually, you've been around for 70 plus years. You've made it. No?
Yeah.
I could die tomorrow. No? I deserve the seat. Of course, that's just when I'm having a shitty day, that's what I think.
But why do you think, like, just because you're older means that you've made it already?
I mean, you have lived that long.
You've lived that long.
Yeah.
But what have you suffered during those years?
Okay, yeah. So that's where,
that's where you are projecting your life on them.
No, I'm just saying it's a double-edged sword because for a moment, I feel like, hey, actually, why am I giving up the seat to you? You have made it, you have lived. Like, of course, like half a second later, the real Harish takes over. And then, of course, you have to give it to the older person.
So you want, everyone listening, you got to warn your parents. If you take MRT and you see this angry Indian man.
For half a second, I'll be like...
He gives up his seat to you, then he stares at you angrily. Just note that it might be Harish.
I'm sure other people also have that thought, okay? I'm sure other people also have that thought. Because, you realize that, oh shit, like, life ain't that easy.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, all that said, something worth celebrating. We are having our live show and
hell
it's sold out.
Man.
Yeah.
And it's like the perfect time to have a live show, December, when the weather's going to be great. Hopefully it doesn't rain out. I mean, it's indoors anyway, so as long as you get there.
Great venue.
Great venue, great partner who people will come to, will see there. And it's just a nice time of year, festive, It's going to be a great time, man. Great time. But thanks again to everyone who bought on time. It was, wonderful feeling.
Correct. And we're going to talk about news, right?
Of course.
It's going to be a Yalabat episode for sure.
Yeah.
Just like today, we're going to talk about news. But before all that, is there anything that we want people to do?
If you have enjoyed this podcast, if you're new to the podcast, it would be great if you could subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. Because we're trying to even post even more content of different formats. So keep in touch.
Especially on Spotify, it seems like they're trying a lot of different things now, right? Comments and being able to interact and videos and things like that. So leave a comment on Spotify as well if that's where you listen to us.
Yeah, and if you want to work with us,
reach out to us at contact@ministryofffunny.com. Or just check our website at ministryofffunny.com.
Yeah, because that's also where we sold the tickets.
Yes,
now
right.
We have a website. Like
a functioning website.
Functioning websites. Yes, functioning website. Ticket sales went smooth as like hot butter.
Yeah.
But it was ministryofffunny.com.
But talking about something that maybe hasn't gone as smoothly as hot butter, right?
Yeah.
Who are these unfortunate groups of people?
Actually, I realized the saying is as smooth as a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, hot knife through butter.
Hot butter is just you get burnt. You get burnt.
It just melts, right?
Yeah, it melts. So when is it smooth?
Okay. Smooth as a hot knife through butter. Okay, correct. Yes.
It is the news that Resorts World Sentosa's casino license has been renewed for just 2 years over unsatisfactory tourism performance. So basically, the renewal term decided by Singapore's Gambling Regulatory Authority, the GRA, is normally 3 years. But now they've told RWS, you know what, you've been naughty the past few years, so we are only giving you a 2-year extension. With the next renewal, next review coming in 2026. So I mean, did this like what stood out from just the high level news before we dig deeper?
I thought it was interesting that this came up like literally days after Resorts World announced that they'll be spending $6.8 billion to spruce up the waterfront of Singapore with 2 new luxury hotels and an 88-meter high trail and a bunch of other things lah. And this announcement and groundbreaking ceremony was literally just
15 November.
Yeah, 15 November, right?
Yeah.
And I think the idea is to finish this revamp of RWS by 2030. So it sounded quite exciting. The pictures look pretty impressive. It does not look like what RWS looks like now, right?
Actually, I don't even know what RWS looks like from like a high vantage point angle.
Very brown, very brown. That's something I can tell you for sure. Very brown. I've taken a cable car a few times in recent. I mean, with a kid and all, in recent years and you look at RWS from the top. It looks very brown, right? Now this one is more, in line with recent architectural features in Singapore. A lot of vertical gardens, right? Steps, almost like rice terraces, like step style kind of buildings, and then a big waterfront feature and stuff like that, lah. So yeah, this revamp literally just announced a few days ago,
and a lot of green, lah. A lot of green,
yeah. And with Minister Alvin Tan there for the groundbreaking and everything, and then suddenly got this news like, you've not been very good at doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
so here's a little punishment for you, lah.
Yeah, because for me, I was like, hey, actually, what is this casino license? And I didn't even know that was the Singapore Gambling Regulatory Authority. So basically, yeah, it's typically on a 3-year basis. But this was renewed after the integrated resort was evaluated under Section 45A of the Casino Control Act, known as the CCA, which allows for a panel to assess criteria such as visitor appeal, ability to meet prevailing market demand, and contribution to tourism industry in Singapore.
Yeah.
So the CCA, it is really quite long, the document. It's available online. And yeah, it was interesting, how detailed they get about what it takes to operate a casino. And then I was thinking, oh shit, if this license is not renewed in future, that means RWS's integrated resort is no longer an integrated resort. No, but the integrated resort is just a resort that has a bunch of shit, one of which is a casino.
Correct.
So it can still carry on as an integrated resort.
Yeah. But the casino is the big money maker.
I would imagine. I would imagine. But I mean, okay, so there's this thing that, they haven't done well. And in their announcement in response to the renewal just being 2 years, they said that the tourism industry in Singapore in general, including RWS, faced very significant challenges during this evaluation period, which coincided with the global pandemic. Which is true lah.
True.
And then they said that the 2.0 expansions plans are underway and all. But I mean, from your own experience going to RWS in recent years, what feeling has it left you with?
So yeah, to add on to what I was saying earlier, when you take the cable car from Mount Faber to Sentosa and all that, right? What you will notice is that a lot of the facilities, especially around the Adventure Cove and all that are visible from the sky. There's a lot of dirt and I don't know whether it's mold or just accumulated dirt that is visible from the cable cars. And it just looks old, There's this feeling of it being very old. It's not a welcome sight. It's not a spanking new thing where you feel like, this must be a cool place to check out and all. Compared to, say, Marina Bay Sands, the biggest competitor, Marina Bay Sands is still a tourist destination, right? Celebrities, big stars who come here all want to go to the sky, that pool on top, the infinity pool on the top of Marina Bay Sands and take the picture. Have you heard of any celebrity rushing to take a picture at Resorts World? I've not. Maybe they've gone for the Universal Studios. If I remember correctly, The Weeknd and Ariana Grande, was it? They were at Universal Studios and all that, things like that.
Yeah.
I Show Speed, right? Also tried to hit up Universal Studios. But they were shut down, right?
They were shut down. So, that's true.
So, I mean, you think about tourist experience, nobody's talking about Resorts World in the way they talk about MBS as a must-see or a must-hang-out kind of place.
Suddenly someone from the GRA is a damn big I Show Speed fan. He's like, you know what? Fuck this shit. All right, I'm not giving you a license.
Yeah. But I mean, that's it. Like, is that the primary factor? Like tourism, is that the main factor when you look at the Casino Control Act? Is that the main factor in terms of criteria for judging whether they've done enough to justify having their license renewed?
I mean, like the Casino Act, actually, it's more about just the running of the casino. Because if you go through the act, it's a lot on like, okay, the legitimacy of the casino partner, who is running the casino partner, what games are played.
Yeah.
There's very little about the tourism and the impact on the tourism industry in the Casino Control Act. And I think it just focuses a lot more on making sure the casinos that are running are legitimate. The tourism was, I think, more the part of the evaluation panel that came up with this decision.
Yeah. So but there is a section that is about what the evaluation panel is supposed to look at.
Yes. So
that is section 45 for
section 45
for those uninitiated.
Oh yeah, correct. That's what mentioned in the article also.
Yeah, it's mentioned in the article. So section 45 and 45A to be specific. The evaluation panel to form opinion on the integrated resort. The minister may appoint 3 or more persons to form a panel to evaluate the following. A. The visitor appeal of the integrated resort. B. The comparability of the resort to any part thereof to similar attractions or facilities internationally or to prevailing industry standards, right? And then C, the degree to which the integrated resort meets the prevailing market demand in respect of the integrated resort attraction facility and the contribution of the integrated resort to the tourism industry in Singapore. So there's the 4 criteria that the panel that is formed by, I guess, the MTI would need to evaluate the performance of the integrated resort.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, so it does tie into the performance of the resort, right? And then I was thinking, okay, so this is RWS. They just got the license renewal for 2 years with the evaluation period, like what they said, coinciding with the pandemic, which was, 2021 to 2023. Then I was thinking, oh shit, the tourism industry was hit. What about the other casino? So from what I found online, the MBS casino license was last renewed on April 26, 2022 for 3 years.
Okay, so the past.
Yeah, and assuming that, 2024, they renewed the license for RWS based on 2021 to 2023. If MBS was renewed in 2022, plausibly, the review period was from 2019 to 2021. Which was... Okay, 2019, no pandemic, but 2020 was the heart of the pandemic. So it almost feels like, shit, so you can't use the pandemic excuse. And then from my own personal experience going to RWS, I think last year for the Van Gogh exhibition, the Van Gogh exhibition was nice, but getting there, right, it felt like, walao, it just felt like a ghost town. And even the food options, like, there's no vibe, there's no festive feel, there's no tourist feel. Which is very sad. Because I remember growing up Sentosa, there was like, what was that water park that was damn shook, man?
Fantasy Island.
Island, walao, that was great.
That should be a whole Tell You First episode by itself. Fantasy Island.
The Subarashi, remember the Subarashi?
Which one is
the one you run, you have this mat and then you jump off and then you slide down.
Correct. The big open air slide. I remember the black hole, which when I tell Gen Zers about the black hole. Do you remember the black hole slide, which was essentially a dark tunnel that you slide through?
Correct.
And the kind of shenanigans that went on in there, crimes, literal crimes that went on in there.
Like what?
Did you hear about this before? There was like I remember correctly, if I remember correctly, there was a dude who pressed himself against the side of the black hole, got stuck inside, and waited for a girl behind him to come down the black hole, and then he just clung onto her and molested her all the way down the rest of the black hole.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So I do recall from my memory that was one of the big like incidences that happened at Fantasy Island that caused it to get shut down.
There was also a death.
Multiple deaths.
Multiple deaths.
Yeah. So, the Gen Zers, like, they have no recollection of this at all. I mean, they're obviously too young to know. But I remember, because Fantasy Island opened, when I was a kid, and I went there a few times and until, like, its closure.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from shitting on my good memories of Fantasy Island, Like when you go there, it was fun. You know, even now when you go to the zoo, when you go, there's a general, okay, people are here to have a good time.
Yeah.
Go to RWS, right? Like, yes, the individual exhibit might be good, but the feel is like, where am I, man?
Yeah. I would say you go there, it really feels like half of it is not open. Like half of it like is either shut down or, you know, they're repairing something or it's not working. And it's very... I literally also went to Universal Studios that time, just a couple of months, 1 or 2 months ago, right? And again, you know, there was a feel like, hey, you know, certain rides I was very excited to go and try. I walk in and then like, oh, sorry, breakdown, you know.
Was
like,
it?
Yeah, this ride's closed today. Oh, sorry, this ride's closed today. You know, that kind of thing. So it just has this like half-baked kind of, like they're not really open from the pandemic yet, like, you know, they're still like finding their footing, which is crazy because it is probably one of the most visited tourist attractions in Singapore, but it still feels like it's still trying to get out of the pandemic mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, it's like, you know, you see those viral posts about this abandoned train station in China.
Yeah.
You know, in like Croatia, these flats that no longer... RWS has that feel.
Yeah.
It feels like you could do a whole series of this is an abandoned resort. You know, like Banksy had Dismaland or something.
Yeah, Dismaland, yeah.
Dismaland, right? It feels like RWS is like Dismaland in real life. So...
But I mean, how much of it is it being unfair to them? Because at the end of the day, going to Sentosa, it's a much longer drive or even
MBS,
like more troublesome than like going to Marina Bay Sands, right?
Yeah.
Because Marina Bay Sands ultimately is in the city.
Yeah.
You can sort of consider, oh, let's have a meeting, let's meet at Marina Bay Sands. Possible.
True.
Right? There are places to sit down and meet. You know. RWS doesn't have that, right?
True lah. But then, like, I don't know whether it was just when I was younger and I saw Sentosa differently. Sentosa used to be a fun place to go.
Yeah.
Now it almost lost its soul a bit.
I know, but what I'm asking is like, it's still a destination place that you have to plan to go to, right? So is it fair to compare it to something like MBS, which is in the heart of the city?
No, I think, okay, you cannot compare like for like, but I also don't think that's a good excuse, because you look at like the bird park, the zoo, right? They are not the easiest place to go to.
Yeah.
If you want to go there, you make a day out of it. And I think Singapore, we need places where we can make a day out of shit. Because there's not much else to do, right? Sentosa, you go there. If the resort was good, I feel that people will go.
Yeah.
Because some things in Sentosa which are nice, I mean, the beaches are not bad, but to go there just for the beach is also like, do we really have to go there? But if they all kind of come together and, you know, like the Avengers, like have this one real integrated appeal, then can. That's why when you see the plans, does it excite you?
I mean, everything looks good in the artist's impression of things. But I think I agree with what you say, that MBS at the end of the day has something for you know, the whole family, right? Like if you want to eat high end, you can go eat high end. If you want to just sit down somewhere, have a coffee, you can go sit down somewhere, have a coffee. If you want to have like a more like stimulating kind of exhibition at the, you know, the what's that? The
Art Science
Museum, you can do that, right?
Yeah.
You know? Or if you just want to sit by the water and just chill out and have a little picnic or whatever by the benches, you can do that, you know.
Yeah.
There's street acts that perform there, or even people who just jogging and cycling there.
Yeah.
But RWS just has this like, oh, you got to go there, plan to go there, and like, you know, you plan your whole day there. And then even if you get there, everything's tourist prices. It's so expensive. There's no options. You guys no easy option to sit down and all that. And I think some of the restaurants also that I thought were always there have closed down, like the Din Tai Fung that used to be there, and I think it's gone. Not sure if it's been replaced by others, but it just doesn't have that feel like you can just casually walk up and just, you know, have half a day there.
Yeah, and I mean, or at least, and have a half a day there where you don't need to like save up to go, you know. So that's why it feels like, yes, MBS is in the city, they have a lot of benefits, but there's also a lot of stuff that they might not be able to do that RWS can.
Yeah.
And I feel like MBS, they have taken into account where they are in Singapore and tried to maximize it. Whereas RWS is not making use of the fact that, you know, you're on another island. There's something nice there to play with. And it just feels like, these plans, I mean, that's why maybe they rush the announcement of the plans. You're like, hey, shit, this 2-year thing is not going to look good. It's like you never do homework. But then you tell the teacher, hey, bro, I do this other homework.
This other thing.
I did this other thing, you know, for extra points and all.
Correct,
But so I mean, I like the thing about the casino act, I think I've never seen that act before. And there's also stuff about the, social impact and shit like that. So, okay lah. You would imagine that, okay lah, when they made the decision to introduce casinos, which I guess was 2006, that this was a hotly contested thing lah.
Yeah. And I would say also now, maybe because of what, like the Kallang Alive Master Plan and all that have been doing the last year lah, right? I mean, bringing in Taylor Swift and Coldplay and making the sports hub like the center of a lot of big events and attractions like the Pope and everything as well, right?
Yeah.
They've got kind of confidence and swagger lah, right? To go up to other integrated resorts and say, hey, you guys not doing your job.
Exactly.
Did Taylor Swift come check you out? No, right? Taylor Swift was eating at MBS. You're staying at MBS. There was an MBS tour experience and stuff like that. How come you all had nothing at all? You all have a big resort, but there's nothing here at all.
Yeah.
So I think in a sense, it's fair for the ministry to come in and say, hey, pull your socks up lah. We are doing our shit. How about you?
Yeah, and I mean, even like last year, Resorts World Sentosa received the biggest fine from the GRA for not performing checks when collecting cash of $5,000 or more.
Yeah.
The $2.25 million fine. So, I mean, in the grand scheme of casinos, $2.25 million is probably not a big thing, but it just doesn't bode well when you see, hey, shit, they're getting fined, they're not attracting tourists, you go there as a visitor, it's like, nah.
Yeah. Because the thing, okay, maybe comparing to MBS might not be as fair, right?
Yeah.
But you compare internationally to, say, Las Vegas, right? Have you been to Vegas before?
Yeah.
There's this vibe around Vegas, like, it is. There is this whole like, casino or, only if you're willing to spend money in a casino, that's fun for you. But at the same time, there are world-class like shows going on there, right?
Residencies.
Like with like Adele and Celine Dion and all that. There's those, I remember the Fountain in Las Vegas also was like a big deal. And then the Sphere now. So like even if you just go as a tourist just to look at the architecture, look at the buildings, or look at like the free acts that are around, feels like there's a lot more to see and do. La.
Yeah, that's true.
You tell me RWS, I go there. If I'm not going to Universal Studios, what am I doing there?
Right? That's true. And I mean, my first thought was like, but cannot compare to Las Vegas because they have a lot of footfall there. But Singapore tourism is huge.
Yeah.
So many people come to Singapore. And it just feels like, this is untapped.
Yeah.
And I mean, the amount of space they have is like, 160 plus thousand square feet, I believe. It's insane. So, yeah, man. Like,
how about the aquarium though? The aquarium, like, is that a appeal?
The Oceanarium.
Oceanarium, yeah.
Which is apparently 3 times bigger than the sea aquarium.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been to the sea aquarium.
Oh, you haven't been? Okay.
I remember when I was young, I loved the underwater world. Have you been to the sea aquarium?
Oh, yeah.
I know you went for a wedding there also.
Yes, I've attended someone's wedding at the aquarium. Quite magical in that it's a fun way for rich people to spend money.
Yeah, and you didn't care about the couple. You're just looking at the...
I felt bad that the fish couldn't sleep because, the wedding goes on quite late, right? Like past like 10 p.m. And they have to have the lights on so that people can see the fish. Which I think is not the ordinary practice. Usually they probably switch off lights like by 8 p.m. or something.
Oh, is it?
Like that. I imagine, because you want to simulate day and night for the fish as well, right? So
I guess so lah.
I'm generally quite ambivalent about aquariums, right? But
because they are held captive, is it?
They're held captive, and the ethics of holding these animals captive or even capturing them and all. But they exist, right? They are what they are, and they are a tourist attraction and also a form of education for a lot of young children, right?
Yeah.
But I recently also was in Okinawa's aquarium, which I felt was like, is in certain ways it's not as impressive as our Oceanarium in terms of like how posh it is and things. But there was also a feel like outside of the experience of the actual aquarium, some outside, like in the outdoors and all, there was stuff that you can actually experience for free. Like there were pools for turtles and things like that passes by, you don't have to go into the aquarium. You can actually experience for free. There's a great view of the sea and things like that. And so you can enjoy it, even if you're not there to actually see the aquarium itself. Whereas, again, RWS, I don't really feel that.
Yeah. And even getting around RWS is confusing, man.
Yeah.
Right. It's just such a big area. And I mean, speaking of area, I need to correct myself. Like, the amount that will be added is 164,000 square meters, which will make the resort expand by 50%. So it's a huge ass place. That's why I remember getting around RWS also is not the easiest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
RWS, you got to do your thing, man.
Yeah. Let's hope they put their best foot forward.
Yeah. Cool, man.
And make it better. But yeah, it's a very cutthroat dog-eat-dog world. But I don't think you'll see it any worse than in the next place that we're talking about, right? And what is this place?
It is HSBC, the well-known bank. So basically, right, what they have announced is that as part of the restructuring, where they're going to have a newly formed corporate and institutional banking division, they have asked hundreds of their current managers to reapply for jobs in that division. Which, I mean, you read it, you're like, oh, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
But apparently interviews are already on the way. And even it's been stated, and I quote, essentially pitting senior staff from the commercial banking division against those from the global banking and markets unit to compete for the jobs available in the combined CIB division. But as you read the fine print, it sounds like, oh shit, is this just them, in the midst of all these horrible layoffs that have been done so abrasively, just having to restructure and build this new division, but in a way, kind of couching the fact that they want to get rid of people by making it seem like everybody has the opportunity to be part of the company, and if you don't stay with us, it's your fault.
You don't make the cut, right?
Yeah, you don't make the cut. Yeah, you don't make the cut, and you get cut.
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know. Like, what do you think? Given your background in finance,
yeah. I mean, funny thing, I think Dom was saying that some people are calling it the Hunger Games of banking, right? Which it really feels like it. I mean, it's the interesting thing is that I think this chief executive officer in October, he already identified that there's some streamlining of the bank that is going to happen that would save the bank $300 million, right? Which actually thinking about how much a bank earns, it's not a lot of money. But the interesting thing is that this streamlining will mainly come from senior managers of the firm, right? So usually when you think of layoffs, you're thinking of like the more lower level departments and things like that. But this one is happening at the higher echelons of the company. And to get to those higher echelons of the company, there's probably already a lot of politicking that already is happening. But this one is like next level kind of thing, right? Where you got because you're interviewing senior people. You're not interviewing like, first or second year on the job kind of people,
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't imagine that these senior people already haven't built up like some kind of relationships in the company that they would need to re-interview, and from the start, and they wouldn't know who the interviewer is and things like that.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the amount of like backstabbing and politicking that is going on right now to sort of like secure themselves a place, right? And even before the interview even happens, I think the interview is just like what you said, it's probably just it's sort of a show that that they are giving people a chance, but the truth is the decision probably has already been made, right?
Yeah, because you imagine, what you said about all the politicking. Normally in an office, if there's politics, as the boss, you can be like, let's not have politics. Let's treat everyone with respect. We do all our can to avoid politics.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, they're like, the bank is stirring shit and it is going to cause politics. And it feels like a shitty work environment.
But let's say you were one of these senior managers. Would you prefer that they just laid off people as, in sort of like the typical fashion where you come to work and then you're told, okay, sorry, you have to pack your things, you're laid off? Or would you prefer being told that, okay, you're going to go through this interview process in like, next 2 weeks, and then after that, we will figure out whether we want to keep you? Which would you prefer?
That's a very good question. I would say that on the surface, I would prefer the first one.
To just be laid off directly.
Okay, so hear me out.
Okay.
But in reality, I would prefer the second one.
Oh, yeah?
Because the first one, it almost feels like I was laid off unfairly.
You're chosen already to be laid
Yeah,
off.
and you can almost push all the blame onto the employer.
Okay.
But the second one, okay, wait.
But that doesn't make sense. So
No, wait. So you're asking me which I prefer, right?
yeah, if you were one of those managers.
I think I would prefer the second one. I'll be damn pissed off.
If you didn't have a chance, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why maybe this is is better than just laying off. I don't know. But for you?
I think I would prefer to just be laid off.
Because you can get the severance.
I mean, get severance. I think both ways you probably will get severance, right? Because there will be layoffs happening. But the indignity of having to reapply or re-interview for a job in a place that, maybe you've been there for years already, right? You've already built up relationships and everything. The indignity of having to come in and be almost like a fresh hire kind of feel. Even if you pass the interview, it just not a nice feeling, I feel. It kind of makes you feel like everything that you've built up over the last few years or whatever experience is out the window, and you have to prove yourself again because it's a new role, a new division and things like that. There's almost no regard for what you've done for the company in the last few years.
But what if that is taken into the assessment?
I mean, yes, then that's why I'm saying just naming this whole thing as reapplying for a job or re-interviewing for a job just is not it's embarrassing, right? The indignity of it. That's where I'm coming from, Whereas if you're just laid off and just no uncertainty from the get-go, you just know, okay, this is what's going to happen, this is how it's going to be for the next 6 months. At least you can already start okay, let's go full on into job hunting or talking to recruiters and all.
But you can do that in the second option also.
Correct. But yeah, so that's why you're being made to present yourself as a loyal person who's going to stay and fight and everything.
True. But I also think that being okay with being laid off. I mean, okay, thankfully I've never had to experience that.
Yeah,
and I don't think yourself also, right?
Yeah.
I can imagine a sudden being told that you're laid off is going to hurt as shit emotionally, mentally, and there's also the reality of can you find another job, right? Whereas in this case, yes, there is an annoying part and all, but I don't know, everything you hear about the job market now is damn hard to find shit. So if you are being told you need to apply, of course, go and look for other shit also. And maybe you apply, you get a job, then you're fuck you, and then you quit or something like that. So I think it's not very clear cut for me either way. I think I would still lean towards the second one, but I will be then pissed off. But I will be then pissed off in the first one also.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a good situation either way, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, one thing to note is, these people probably earn good amount of money as well from their jobs.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everyone's your self-identity is very closely tied to your job also, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I for me, the feeling of having to sort of reprove yourself again, almost like you're starting from scratch, just not the most pleasant thing to have to go through. And that's why I think people are laughing, all these the schadenfreude of it feeling like the Hunger Games, right?
But then do you think it's a good look for a company compared to just, laying off? Because they have to lay off a hell lot of people.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're doing well financially. But do you think it's a smart thing for the bank to take this approach?
Smart in what sense?
Compared to just saying, okay, we need to lay off 2,000 people.
But smart in the PR way.
Yeah, PR way.
Yeah, I think it allows them to say that they are, streamlining and setting up a new division and things like that.
And innovating, future-proofing and stuff like that.
It's almost like, we're changing the way we do things. So, it's not about these people not being good enough. It's just that they don't fit into this new culture or this new structure that we're setting up, right? Whereas, I would say a traditional layoff is basically, sorry, dude, you're not as good as the other people.
Doesn't that hurt even more?
We just say we're talking from a position where we're not part of the bank, but if you're part of the bank, maybe by then you're also the inner workings of the bank, how well it's doing or how well it's not doing, right? And you kind of you rather they just chop off the arm rather than slowly try to feed you morphine and then I tell you, maybe you got a chance, you'll be okay.
Right? So then it becomes, what is that process like? If you are told that, okay, your position is going to be redundant, but there's this position to apply.
Yeah.
If you choose not to apply, you will still get severance.
Okay. Yeah.
Then I feel okay lah.
You have the
But
choice,
if they're being fucking like assholes and being like, okay, we're not giving you severance because you have every opportunity to keep your job.
Yeah.
And if you don't get your job, sorry, bye.
Yeah.
That is messed up.
That's messed up.
That's messed up. Because then I would totally take being laid off.
Yeah.
Because laid off, by and large, especially in overseas markets, because Singapore, I think the employee laws are not as strong. You generally get some sort of compensation, right?
And because everywhere else is also laying off people.
Yeah.
Like if 10 years down the road, you told people, okay, I used to work for this bank, and there was massive layoffs in the tech and banking industries in the year 2024. Everyone will be like, oh yeah. It was just a general wave of layoffs, right? People overhired during the pandemic. Whereas, if you 10 years later, you're like, I tried to stay on, I tried to interview for the job, all that, but I still got cut.
No, they will ask you, so were you laid off? You're like, kind of.
I didn't make the cut,
Yeah. Oh, but I thought you said you laid off. Yeah, yes. I mean, I didn't make the interview that I had to. Yeah.
It just sounds worse.
Crimp yourself. We're laid off.
Yeah, laid off it's like you're a collective group of people who were unfairly treated.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
So exactly, unfairly treated, because in the first one, you can still say, you know what? Because no one really knows what other people do in their jobs, right?
Correct, yeah.
It can be, this. I can't believe my employer did this to me, But the second one is like, oh, but your employer gave you a chance, but you
had the chance.
You screwed it up, Terrence.
Still not good enough. It means you're like that guy in who just is it the show Office Space? Who's just there in that
just ghosting,
basement. Just ghosting. Nobody even knows that he's there until they actually interview him and realize, hey, shit, you're not supposed to be here.
That's true. Maybe that's why it casts HSBC in a bit of a manipulative light.
It does. It feels really cutthroat. But that's the finance industry, I suppose.
That's the finance industry.
Yeah.
Walao.
Damn.
Interesting. Yeah. Damn, man. Damn.
But yeah, it's been a good week for us. What's your one Shiok comment that you from the last few days?
My one Shiok comment, I think this builds on some other comments that I read on Spotify and even on our Reddit. It was another meme created by the legendary Hayata_S, where it's titled Harish in the Good Old Canteen Days. So it's a photo, I guess, from the 50s or 60s of an old school canteen where my face is superimposed onto one of the students. But I think in the broader scheme of things, I like how just us talking about the primary school, canteen and all that has actually brought up quite a bit of nostalgia in our listeners.
Like what?
Yeah. I mean, there one Shiok comment in the previous episode where someone said they tasted nasi lemak for the first time at primary school.
Yeah.
And I think on Spotify also someone put that it's sad that school canteens may be moving to centralized kitchens. I used to have a nice relationship with my school's noodle shop auntie who will remember my exact order, notice how I would arrange my notes back in my wallet, and even know about the hottest gossip on campus. Not sure how these relationships with canteens and uncles will change with the new arrangements.
Yeah.
So that was from WH on Spotify.
Yeah.
But interesting. All the feel good of the school canteen.
So I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected that there are people who feel very strongly for canteen uncles.
Oh, so you'll be surprised by the reaction, is it?
I thought it was only just you.
No,
I thought it was just
man.
you in your own little circle thinking that you are the center of the universe.
Okay, so I hope you go back and reflect that all your other thoughts of me just being alone in my own perspectives and all is not true, Terrence. Okay, you were the one putting me in a box when I am one with the people. No?
Okay.
I'm one with the people.
Got it. One with the people. Yeah.
I'm one with the people. Yeah.
But I did comment on that photo saying that it should have included a shot of you like flirting with the canteen aunties,
bonding over tofu.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was great. But what about you, man? What about your one Shiok comment?
Won't name it, but nice comments coming in from people who are saying like excited to watch you guys live for the first time. Have been listening to Yalabat since COVID-19. So it's pretty awesome that we get to actually meet people who have been listening to us.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't even commented on Reddit or anything before.
Yeah.
But to actually become there's a physical manifestation of the relationship that we built up with our listeners. Right?
Yeah, man. It's really damn insane, yeah.
Yeah.
It's damn insane.
So that's one of a bunch of messages that have come in the last 24 hours about people excited to watch our live show.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
And what about your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is actually a video that came out on Vanity Fair a few days ago. Not a few days, 3 weeks ago. And it's an analysis of jump scares in Hollywood. So when you watch the movies, right, like, you know, the jump scare, the typical thing that you find from horror movies where there's expectation, there's a build up, and then usually there's like a big scare or maybe even a false reveal or whatever, right? So this interesting video is about 20 minutes. It goes into the history of jump scares. So it actually traces like when was the first like jump scare on screen in a movie.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and then it goes through all the different generations of like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, and then even up to today, how jump scares are being done, and even examines it across like different cultures, like jump scares in like Asian culture versus jump scares in other cultures, and yeah, in different types of jump scares. It really shows you like how jump scares have evolved and been like innovated on over the years.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So yeah, and they really have examples from almost every movie. They bookmark every movie that they reference in there, so that you can watch it.
What are some of the range? Because jump scare to me is like very like one. Okay, that is a jump scare. How many different jump scares can there be?
Say for example, typical jump scare for a long time was like mirror, right? As you move in front of mirror, then in the background there's something. So one of the innovations that one of the movies talk about is like mirror, mirror got something, suddenly a hand comes through the mirror and grabs you, you know.
Oh.
So there's an innovation in their definition.
Oh,
and it's quite cool. It's quite a interesting watch also because everything is a scare. And after 20 minutes, you've seen like maybe 100
How long is the
scares.
video?
20 minutes, yeah.
Oh, and the channel is what channel again?
Vanity Fair.
Oh, Vanity Fair.
So it's an interesting analysis of jump scares in movies. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
And what is your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is actually a video that came out 2 years ago that I saw making its rounds again online after Elon Musk played such a pivotal role in the presidential elections in the US.
Yeah.
It was a clip that was shared by Dave Rubin of the Rubin Report, which I believe is a right-wing show in the US. And it's just a cut. I think AOC, you know, the US politician.
Yeah.
She was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She was interviewing Elon Musk in some on some program, and this guy just did a supercut of them kind of like looking flirtily at each other.
How is it?
With music, and it's so funny. It's just like 50 seconds long.
Yeah.
So people, like listeners, can watch Terrence's video, you know, very academic dissection for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But then if you just want something brainless, just look at his clip. It's damn funny.
Yeah.
And it's just it's hilarious lah. So I think it started making the rounds again a few weeks ago when Elon Musk took almost center stage at the US politician presidential debate election lah.
So what's the name of the video?
Hilarious viral clip of AOC and Elon Musk apologizing and falling in love.
Oh, I see.
It's damn funny, and with the music.
The content of the interview, was it like very combative or what?
So the interview itself, I found it quite hard to find the actual interview. I don't know where this was supercut from. But I think it is they did have the interview lah. It's not just two different interviews that they supercut.
Yeah.
But it's damn funny.
Who knows? He might offer to like have children with her. That's his thing, right?
He offers, is it?
That time he did it to Taylor Swift, what? And I think he...
What did he say?
He offered to sire children with Taylor Swift, what?
What?
Yeah, on X or something, and everyone was like, oh, that's so disgusting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, he offered to father a child with Taylor Swift.
And I mean, he has like 11 children right now.
Yeah. He's all in on like, you know, having as many children as possible.
Wow, nuts, yeah. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks that his genes are really superior to everyone else's. He needs to spray lah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Interesting times.
But cool.
Cool, man.
So, looking forward to the live show in December.
Yeah.
But in the meantime also, we still got some interesting interviews coming up also.
Yeah.
Soon.
And I mean, we're also going to be reaching episode 600 soon. Right?
Let's see which one comes first.
Yeah. So we see. But yeah, fun times. We're still going to keep cranking out those episodes. Cranking those episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you did enjoy this podcast, please do share it with maybe someone who has not heard of us. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify. Leave us a rating on Spotify, and Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit.
Yeah.
Cool man. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.